Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Bird-Faced Cat. This is Quill here. And I just wanted to take a moment and just kind of talk a little bit about the World of Warcraft, where I'm at, what's going on. A little bit of an update. So, as you all know, I have been recording most of my videos as Quilly Straza. Started out trying Evoker this expansion. Og was... overall, really, Evoker is a class that, I had made one in Dragonflight, but I didn't play it. I had it at max level, but I never did anything on it more than use it to do some world quests for gold, right? Just kind of sitting in my alt standby list, and, and that was fine. That was fine, all good. And the War Within came around, and, I really got the bug to play it. I wanted to give it a shot. Been hearing good things, talking with guildies and stuff. It was like, oh man, it'd be cool to have someone play Evoker. No one was playing Evoker at all, really. Some people had alts, because of course preservation's great, but we don't have any pres Evokers in our raid either. Just, random keys and other activities on alts. So, I was like, okay, plus we get the Evoker buff for raid, Evoker buffs for keys, all good stuff. And so, I was excited. I felt like I had a little extra bandwidth to take on a new class. I like the mobility of the Evoker. It's very mobile. You get around. I had played Demon Hunter and Shadowlands as my main for a while, and I really liked the mobility and stuff. That was one of the key draws to it. So I was like, you know what, this could be really cool. I never mained a caster class before. I've had, casters in my alt lineup that I enjoy playing, but never really like pushed to excel at. It was just sort of like, hey, let's do some low keys on alts, let's do this or that. A little bit here and there, no big deal. But I thought, hey, this is going to be my chance to give it a try and, see if I like it. Just really kind of roll the dice on it and see, what I could do with it. Just really with everything being completely new. And I had a lot of fun with it. But as you guys know, there's also some frustrating times. I started out as Og and, found out fairly quickly that, maybe I just needed to kind of learn the class a little bit better in general. Maybe I needed to kind of figure out how to be a caster in general in like actual content that I were trying to push. And Og's a lot. There's a lot going on. You're basically like a group trinket, a raid trinket, a dungeon trinket. You're buffing everybody else. And it's awesome and amazing, and I know, all the high-end groups have an Og, It's a great thing. But you know what? I wasn't having the best results with it early on just because I was coming at it from a place of ground zero. And you know what? I'm an okay player, but I'm not, like, the best player, so I'm not someone who can just pick something up right away and be awesome at it. I need a lot of practice. And I thought, with all the different content that I'm doing and all the amount that I'm playing, like, this is going to be great. Like, I'll get some time in. I'll do all my research. I'll keep learning new things. And I had a lot of fun, and Devastation. I was definitely having a lot more fun with that versus Og, just not having to think about everyone else. Really kind of freed up some brain space and kind of let me, focus on DPSing a little bit more. But, this last week I was just really thinking about how I'm just still not really excelling at it. And then, skill is a big issue. You can eye level skill a little bit to a certain extent. You guys could see my numbers and details on some of my earlier videos when I'm, in raid or in keys where there's a lot of trash especially now that I figured out about how to chain my spells a little bit better. I was really packing a punch there, but the rest of the time, just figuring out where in the heck to stand, my positioning. I really had a lot to learn on this class. Just the movement and sort of the lack, what I feel is a lack of control coming from a place of being a paladin main. It was something I wasn't used to, and it was fine, but it was getting frustrating for other people, thinking I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, and then also just being squishy and sort of not really having DRs to my advantage. It really felt like impactful. It was just sort of like starting to feel bad, I'm trying to think what my eye level ended up even being. I think I'm 614 or 617. Like I'm, pretty high. I put a lot of time in, ran a lot of keys. I've done raid. Really giving it a good try, but I realized this week that it's just really kind of like stressing me out, that I feel like it takes so much energy to just get like the minimal output that I'm more used to being able to achieve with my paladin. And a lot of people don't like playing melee classes because they feel like, oh, I can't see all the mechanics, I don't know what's going on. And I think for me, I prefer it because all your spells are instant, and even though I'm not always doing my ABCs of always be casting, I'm definitely better at it than being a caster and having to like move every 2 seconds. And I kind of just like being up and everything. I think that's just my play style. At least something I'm more comfortable with. It's what I've mained since I started playing back in Draenor. And so I've just really built up that muscle memory with the rotation. You take minor tweaks here and there in the rotation, but just sort of overall, like, I guess Paladin still kind of feels like home. So man, this week was like really hard for me. I had some really great moments on my Evoker, and I had some really shitty ones. And it was just starting to feel like I was just having more time where I was feeling bad and or just sort of like wore out after playing it. And it just wasn't as much fun as I've had on my Paladin in the past. And so, I have my Paladin leveled up. I just kind of had it as one of my main alts, but, an alt just the same. And so I think the real wake-up call for me this week of thinking maybe I should change my main was doing delves the other day. And I just felt like being in a duo and a delve, like a +8 delve, like I had soloed some on my Evoker, but it took a long time. Like I feel like just stuff takes a long time to die. I don't know. It's whatever. But I felt like it definitely wasn't harder on my Paladin. So I've got my Evoker at like, we'll say 614. My Paladin was at 585. And I felt like I was able to match on my Paladin what I was doing on my Evoker with only room to go up from there. And so just sort of the comfort and the, just the sort of functionality and the muscle memory of being a Paladin. Like, it's a fun class. I like it. I like the fantasy of, being like a pony girl, running around, being up in melee, getting that retribution. But it's, I don't know, it's like my Paladin was my first real, like, main, and I thought I was ready to give it a rest for this expansion for something new. And I think what I should have done is I should have started out on my Paladin and maybe just had the Evoker be one of my main alts and kind of like eased into it to see if it was something I was gonna actually like to do. But I thought, hey, what? Why not? I'm just gonna like jump in head first, just like throw me in the deep end and see if I can swim. And I can swim, but it's looking a little ridiculous. It's not pretty. I'm floating, but it ain't pretty. So it wasn't the worst thing. And I just want to give a shout out to my raid team and especially my push group, my key push group, like so patient with me as I'm learning this new class and really, messing stuff up sometimes and maybe not having the DPS output that I would have liked, that they would have liked. It's been a learning experience, and I just think that for right now, I am going to focus on my Paladin. I ran some keys today. Right now I'm $5.99, hoping for some good stuff in my vault tomorrow. We've got raid tomorrow and Wednesday, and I guess my plan is I already talked to the raid leader. He's cool with me switching. I hate to do that. But, I can make up the gear doing keys and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna, take loot from anybody or anything like that. But, I'm kind of sad and disappointed in myself that I'm not gonna stick out Evoker as my main for all of season 1. But, we're like, is this gonna be week 4? Week 3? I'm losing track of time already. Oh, man. Like, we're not that far into season 1 where it's really not too late to pivot. And honestly, I'm just going to feel a lot better mentally. It's like sometimes you just feel like you're just getting like too stressed out about stuff and, should be having fun. And so it's time to hopefully get back to having a little fun. Doing keys today on my Paladin. We did some 7s, and then we did like some 3s and 4s. And, just felt like I was getting right back in the saddle. Right back in the saddle of my Ret Paladin pony club. So, I think the familiarity is a comfort that I'm really looking forward to. And I'm not going to ditch my Evoker completely, but definitely probably not going to be recording as much content on it. But I hope that you guys will still stick around and watch the progress of our raid team and watch the progress of our push group. And we'll see how me swapping will help out the team, and hopefully it's just a good thing and ends up being a lot more fun. But anyway, just wanted to give an official shout out of what was going on. And I do still have some other alts that I'm liking to play around with, so who knows, maybe I'll show them a bit. I've got my survival hunter that was my also possible new main, but I think I'm still gonna keep that on hold. I think I'm fully swapping to Paladin, and we'll have Evoker, and we'll have Dev Evoker and Survival Hunter as my main alts. I also have a Shadow Priest who's kind of like, that third alt where I'm still doing some profession stuff on there, but don't really take it out in the world too much. I've got a Boomkin that sometimes heals that I'm pretty bad at. And getting a mage going, and I've got I've got 1 or 2 of every class, but I'm not too worried about them right now. But I feel like now, just going back to the comfort, familiarity of Paladin, I can sort of relax and just sort of relax a little bit be less stressed, be a little less crabby with everybody, a little less frustrated with myself, give myself some grace. That's really important, everybody. You know, if you're doing something and it's just not working, like, that's okay. You don't have to keep pushing it. Sometimes you just gotta pivot, and that agility is gonna end up paying off for yourself and for your team in the long run. And that's all we can hope for, you know? So just keep having fun, keep playing WoW. I hope that you're all gonna stick around and keep watching my videos. I really appreciate all the views and the likes and the subscribes. So just thank you again. Shout out to everyone. And I hope that you have a super awesome day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.